Hi, this is Matthew, back to make a really quick video on the next Chicago album. I'm still going to give it a number. It's Chicago's Greatest Hits Volume, I think it just says Greatest Hits Volume 2, I believe it. Yeah, just Greatest Hits Volume 2, but that's what they're calling it. It was released, now my birthday is November 28th of 81. This came out on November 23rd of 81. How weird is that? It's just a lot of like the more recent hits and some overlooked stuff from the other album. As I said, 15 had done poorly. Columbia dropped them from the label. They were going to try to figure themselves out, try to make a new identity for themselves, which will work, as it turns out. But they didn't know that yet. But they'll be on a different label than Columbia, so they won't get to reap any rewards, as it were, from that one. But yeah, it's just a bare bones cover art, no liner notes, just some pictures from around Chicago, and a very tiny logo from their second album. So it's like a really weird looking cover. I guess it's not very interesting to look at. I do wonder what the Chicago sites are. Does anyone know? Any locals know what those are? If you have the album or have seen it. I saw it several times. I never got a chance to grab this one. I have some other compilations that are a bit more comprehensive, and it would have been cool to have had the volume 2, but I did not. That's okay. We'll go look at it and see what's on the two sides of this single release, of course. We have on side 1, starts with Baby What a Big Surprise. Dialects Part 1 and 2, which, it shows it as Dialect Part 2. Incorrectly listed as Parts 1 and 2, but surely it's like combined? I wish I could get to the album and find out, but I hate trying to go through YouTube playlists to try to find the thing that isn't really official, and I just hate looking for them. I always find like a track or it's some weird playlist. I just want like a big video that has the whole thing in it, but they don't have those. But at least where I can see the songs, but it's very annoying. I'm not a fan. Then we go to No Till Lover. It's the single edit of that one. Alive Again, single edit of it. Old Days, I like that one. Side 2 then has If You Leave Me Now, question 67-68, the single edit version, which is, I think, a little shorter. I'm not quite sure. Happy Man, exclusive mix that the false on the featured the false stop thing on that album. Yeah, there is one. That's right. So they took a little false start kind of thing out of it. So that would be cool to hear that one. But again, I don't have it anywhere that I can at least get access that I know of. Long Gone, Gone, Long Gone. I never can pronounce that right. Gone, Long Gone. And then Take Me Back to Chicago. The single edit of that one. It only got to 171 in the charts. No UK charting. Obviously no expanded edition because we don't have it released again by Rhino. And our personnel is going to be the same. So no reason to talk about any of that. And the cover art is just pictures with a little tiny logo from their second album or something. So no reason to look at any of that either. Didn't do well. They were hoping to get more success from Chicago, that first volume, back in the 9th album. It didn't work, unfortunately. So and Chicago will move on into the next year and start doing really well again because they changed their style to be more kind of ballad and softer, and the horns kind of aren't as active, I don't think. But we'll find out together. I know some stuff from this album and later albums, but I don't know everything, so that will be interesting to hear. Chicago from around when I was born. But it's in 82, so I've been alive for a bit. I don't think I knew about them till at least a little bit, probably by 88, 89 or so. I think is when I maybe heard Saturday in the Park for the first time. So fairly young, but obviously I would not have been buying anything, obviously, because I was a kid and I had no money to buy albums with, or even knew what they were so much. But people did. In fact, there was an American Top 40. iHeartRadio does those. They have a Casey Kasem. It's 70s and 80s, and I think there's the new ones, of course, and I think there's another channel of like kind of 2000-ish, maybe late 90s-ish when it came back shows. I've never heard anything later than 87 because I know they changed hosts for a while. He does not have a channel of his countdowns. I've never heard any of the Shadow Stevens ones, but when I heard a count from 82, they did a little segment like where there would have been a commercial break originally where they put things that missed the chart that week, and a song from the next album was one of those songs, a big one, which we'll get to next time. But I just wanted to again talk about this one and number it so that my numbers don't go weird if we skip numbers. So to me, this is 15, but it goes from 14 to 16, but I'm going to call it 15 anyway, just because it makes more sense to me that way. And I'll probably stick Chicago in front of the greatest hits just because it looks weird to me. And it's redundant, but that's what I'm going to call it, I think, this one. But an album I would like to have had just for giggles, just because I have Volume 1, but I don't have Volume 2. But I have like 2 or 3 other sets of hits of theirs. But this was out there. It came out a few days before I was born, so that's kind of cool. It didn't do very well, but I like the sound, and probably as a completist, I would like to have it just because you get your numbers. If I was album collecting, which I wish I could have gotten other albums, but I only just have a couple on vinyl. It didn't work out. The Beatles were way more in my brain at that point. Now I wish I had all the albums so I could be like, haha, look at all these numbers. I have all the numbers. Oh well, that's okay though. It is out there. If anyone can find it streaming, let me know. I don't think it exists. Obviously, Rhino didn't feel it was worth releasing. Same with like Take Me Back to Chicago and stuff. So, oh wait, no, that hasn't come out yet. No, I think it's a later issue, and not dealing with this one. They've only had Greatest Hits Volume 1, which was 9, and this one, which is 15. So that's all they've actually had it up to this point. That comes out later. I don't know where that collection came from. That I checked out from the library years ago, but this one we go from 14 to 15, which they don't label as such, and then we'll jump to 16 next time in 1982, which most of the people I went to school with were born. Had to go a year longer to kindergarten, so but yeah, we will check it out next time and see how many hits are on it and how many songs I might know in passing from other things. So we will see, and we'll see who the label is. I don't know. They don't say. Obviously, in this time period, Peter Cetera's out a solo album. The Wikipedia did not give the name back in the 14 articles. I don't know what it's called. He had several. Some of them did pretty well. And I know when he leaves the band, he will have a hit the year after in the Karate Kid Part 2 movie, which I heard that one. I heard that one a little bit after it came out. It was on TV. But that's not a Chicago song, I don't believe. Pretty sure it's credited to him, so that wouldn't be a thing they would have released. Sadly, it was a big hit. But they'll have some big hits next time in 82, though. We'll see how many there are. I have not looked ahead to see what. I know one of them. I don't know how many other ones are on it. But it will give them a resurgence. in the softer side of music and contemporary and softer rock things. Though some would be on the top 40 charts still, I think. But shifting, their audience a bit, shifting what they're doing, seeing what they can do. We'll see how they reinvent themselves next time on the next video.